Hi, I'm Chris here. Welcome to my channel. If this is the first time you're watching my video, please make sure you read on the description and the title below for the current software version that I'm using right now. My goal with this channel is to help you to become a better modular. So please take a moment and let me know in the comment how am I doing. Remember to leave a thumbs up so it can help the YouTube to share this video with a wider audience. And if you aren't subscribed, please do so and click on the bell for future content. Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk more about how do you create column in TASCIII. Right now, as you can see in my screen right now, okay, I will need to go to the drawing tab here and to create column. So the purpose of the drawing tab versus the identify tab here is that when you click on the identify tab, you'll provide more features and function on selecting the cat line that helping to identify on the column. And if you go to the column tab here, the ribbon will change to more towards like helping you to create column like sloping and align the column by cat line or by axis line. So these are some of the features that will help you do column better. So right now is that you go to the tab below. From here, you need to select on the column. Left click. Once you select, it will appear three icon. If you cannot see the description of this icon, you just hold your mouse for long enough. It will appear things like this, such as column bracket C. The description will appear. The second one will be stiffener, and the last one will be Corbel. And then if you do not like this type of view, you can move your mouse cursor towards the line over here. Once the mouse icon change to this icon, you just need to select it to open up and to close it. Depend on your view. For me, I personally would not open up this line because it will make this element list smaller. Before create a new column, if you do not have any column in the list here, the attribute editor will be empty, just like this versus this, right? To create a new column, we need to go to the plus sign over here, select it. There will be appear four type of column. So in this case, we create the rectangular column in this video. So once you select on the first column, by default, the name will be column dash one. So from here, you need to go to change the name as according to the column schedule over here. By the way, for the column schedule, I will prefer that you put your column schedule on the left screen. So it's easy for you to view the left and right. So if you do not have a dual screen, you can always import the column schedule into the software and locate it near the layout that you want to create the column. So from here, you can easy you by creating your column. So from here, change the column as accordingly. Press on the column here, C1, or you can always also change on the name over here, C2, like example. If let's say you do not like the view on the current view on the attribute editor table, you can always move your cursor to the line over here. Once the icon of the cursor change, you can drag it open to have a better description view below the attribute. And you also can drag this open just like this. Then let's move on. So for the size here, in this case is 600 and 600. You just key in accordingly. So the next one will be C2. For this C2, I can create a new one using this method, or I can select copy from the existing column. This function is that when you select copy, the software will automatically change the name to the next figure, the next number, and also they will maintain all the attribute over here. So for the C2, yeah, sometimes my staff will be asking, oh, how come there's a height over here? This thing is supposed to be length, right? Yeah, so in this software, they will put it here as height, but do not confuse with this height. The height doesn't mean that the floor height over here, 3 meter, is actually means that the length for the column. Yeah, in this case, you see, 600 and 600. I need to make it to 800. I select the length over here, 600, change it to 800. Then it will appear 800. Then move to the column C3. So copy C2 and it will become C3. So from here, you just need to change the size of the column, just like this. In main bar and link can only be done in TRBCIII. Right now, we look on the concrete grade over here. So before you key in this one, I need to explain why the concrete grade over here is in the bracket form, like bracket C20, and the formwork type is bracket swarm formwork. This thing is actually by default referring back to the project setting, floor setting. On this floor, ground floor is stated that column is grade 20 and concrete category and the formwork is swarm formwork. Then everything in the model will refer back to this one in the bracket form. So make sure you click on the right floor. Yeah, it will appear as according to the table over here. Okay, in this case, we need to fill in accordingly to the column schedule because we are in this case this is not concrete grade 30, so we either can fill it to grade 30, change it to grade 30, and the C2 and the C3 is 40. So in this case, I do not want to change it one by one. So I just select C2 and C3 by selecting Shift and select two together, change it to 40, just like this. Before you point in the column, I need to explain a bit on the attribute editor table over here. As you can see, we're not talking about the value first, we're talking about attribute first. As you can look on the attribute, there are two different color. One is in blue color, one is in black color. Blue color means that it's a public attribute, and the black color means it's a private attribute, which is mean also individual entity. I will give you one example on the private versus the public attribute. As you can see the column over here, I were to change anything on the value over here. Let's say I were to select the width, change it to 1000. Once it's changed, when I once unselect it in the list as well, the C1 has been changed accordingly. If I will change back, the model will change back to itself. To talk about this private attribute, once I select the entity over here, I change it to, let's say, the top elevation to 1 meter. When I unselect this column, in the list here, it will remain the same, which is top floor elevation. If I were to point another column, the same column over there side by side, in 3D form, you will see the left column over here is remain as 1, and the right column over here will follow back on the element list C1. In my opinion, for this attribute editor over here, some of them are quite useful. You can use it to arrange your quantity in such a way is that it will help you to save time during your quantity extraction. For example, this summary info here, I usually put in tower, or maybe sometimes is categorized as a podium. And this construction phase is that if this is a round column, you put it round column, or this is a COB column on beam, you put it as column on beam, or maybe it's put it as normal column, COL, such as. So another thing is that if you see there's too complicated over here, you can hide this attribute editor. You can go to project setting, select of project attribute, this one. A table will pop up. So from this case, I will select column and select some of them that are not quite useful, such as this one. I can unselect those are at the moment I do not need this to appear. Can reselect it later. You can see right now my column attribute is become more tidy, and you do not need to like scroll up and down over here because I already hide those unwanted attribute. Right now I will show you another tips is that to select on the boxes over here, select the column, click on the boxes which in the add column. Once you select, on the boxes, it will appear beside on the column name itself, just like the width appear over here. Select those important info. You want the information to appear beside the column. It's easy for you to operate and also for cross-check, and rather than you no need to go into one by one to view the information. The next step will be pointing the column. Select one of the column. Make sure you select the right column and click on the point. Make sure you do not press on the add view. I will show you example why. So from here, you need to zoom in and make sure you see the yellow crosses over here. And then you press left click. That's all. So the next column will be C2. Follow the same step. Then point at the middle of the intersection point. Just like this. However, C2 is that they do not point exactly on the drawings. The next step will be select on the column, right click, select rotation, specify the center of the rotation. It will be at the middle. Select the edge of the column and rotate it just like this. Next one will be C3. On the C3, I will teach you another tips is that you press on the F4, press it again. It will allow you to easy to point on the edge on each cat, just like this one. Okay, so after you point all the column, the next step is that you need to check on the layout on the floor above. Let's say the layout, the column detail show the same size on the floor above. You just need to copy it to the other floor. Do not point the column on the floor above, just like this. So let's say I give an example is that if you use the point the floor above and you accidentally click on the add view, what would happen? So right now, I will do a step, it's called the wrong step. So from here, I use on the add view, accidentally pointed the column away from the original stated in the layout. So in 3D, you will see the column will be appear is quite strange compared with the others. Just like this. So next time, try not to use this add view function when you start to point your column here. So after you finish all your column, make sure you perform a calculate by selecting on the quantity over here. Select on the calculate. Once select, the window will pop up. Select all floors and select OK. Usually it's quite fast for TSC to perform a calculation. Or you can use another function called F9. It's a short key for the calculation. Just like this. So after you've done everything, make sure you view on your report. This is a final result that you want. The report will be named as view quantity by category. Select on this one. Select the range of the floors and the entity as well. Select OK, and the report will appear. So by default, the report will appear just like this and without the arrangement of the summary info. So by selecting on the set classification will allow you to customize your own report to your advantage and make you more easy in your quantity extraction to your BQ and your claim purposes. So from here, you can click on the show subtotal. You can see I can easily extract the quantity from the podium and the tower as well. Well, thank you.